WEBEX.com.
Last July, a rare webinar was released that has since transformed lives all around the world. Now, viewed by over 100,000 people, the movement is growing stronger than ever. WaterWebinar.com. Find out how to take fluoride and heavy metals out of your water and your body. Go to WaterWebinar.com now. Sign up for the webinar and see the shocking video footage with your own eyes. A water secret so powerful, some have called it the #1 threat to the entire New World Order health agenda. Use it to neutralize deadly inorganic particles like lead, aluminum, and even mercury, and remove these accumulated poisons from your body and your drinking water. You can take your water freedom into your own hands and defend yourself and your family from the globalist health agenda. See the webinar before it's taken off the web. There's still time. Go to www.waterwebinar, that's WEBINAR.com now.
What has allowed this crisis in Mexico to take place is a disarmed population with a limited population that's armed, corrupt government, a public trained to give in to corrupt government. And then when another corrupt mafia comes in and starts fighting with the other mafia, civilization ends. And that's what's going to happen to the United States. That's where this country is headed. And you got big special interests coming in. Big pharma, big agri, openly lobbying in Europe and here in the U.S., and they've done it in Europe, to start restricting vitamins and minerals over the counter. They're telling pharmacists, compounding pharmacists, real pharmacists all over the country, who can, give you regular drugs or also old-fashioned ones, they can't compound basic things anymore. They're shutting down their competition. It's all about big cartels shutting down their competition. And then now you've got the Occupy Wall Street people, Ben. I want to get your take on this, and we'll get into the latest attacks on vitamins and minerals with you. Coming out and just saying, yeah, redistribute. And then Obama says, yes, I want to redistribute. But all he wants to do is redistribute the middle class's money, like Herman Cain wants, with new taxes to the Federal Reserve. What is it these redistribute people can't get? I mean, it's admitted now the Democrats are running this.
They're a product of this infantilization of humanity, and especially of Americans, that's been going on for the last 60 or 70 years, where everybody expects the government to take care of them. What my message has been, and consistently has been, is that individuals have to take the ball into their own court in terms of health. These Wall Street people, Occupy Wall Street people, have to begin to produce something, have to begin to create something, have to begin to create some value, and so they'll get compensated in equal measure to what kind of value they're creating. They're out there screaming, give me this and give me that, and the government should be taking care of me, and I'm not getting taken care of, and Wall Street should be redistributing their wealth, and it's not fair. Get out and do something and create some value. Put something back into the culture, and that's what I see when I see these kids screaming, is I see people just saying, me, give me more, give me more, give me more, and it's just the logical end result of this infantilization of Americans that has been going on since at least the New Deal.
They're domesticating us, and it's shutting down our entire society. And as we get more globalism, more collectivism, they scream louder saying, give me goodies. It doesn't deliver it. Collectivism delivers North Korea, China, and places like that, and Russia. They've got to get it through their head. Now, we're going to go to break here in a moment. Long segment coming up. But I just wanted to get you on because I see articles every day now where the system's SWAT teaming people and raiding them and going after vitamins and organic food and not wanting us to be able to label stuff that's not organic and trying to force vaccines on us. I mean, this is a war.
People have to ask themselves, why is the government so interested in bringing armed SWAT teams to people who are selling sweeteners, or people who are selling herbs, or people who are contributing information on how to use these things? Why is the government so vested in protecting their interests that they're willing to send armed SWAT team members to little old ladies who are selling stevia?
What are some of the other big trends you're seeing? I mean, I know you're the real expert on this. I just see it everywhere. This full out assault.
The latest thing is now the Food and Drug Administration is interested in regulating new dietary ingredients. They're making it tougher and tougher for supplement companies to come out with new and better supplements, and they're not doing it outright. What they're doing they're doing it by changing the way that that these companies label and the way these companies announce their new ingredients. So a company will announce their new ingredient, the FDA will hold on to the announcement and hold on to the application if they deem that this new supplement is somehow a threat. So that's the latest thing. Now it's not just regular supplements, it's new supplements that these companies want to come out with, new dietary supplements. It's called the NDI, the new dietary.
Meanwhile, they've got the New Freedom Initiative that Bush started, where they said they want to put half of kids on psychotropics. Now Reuters is reporting, this is up at Infowars.com, doctors want to diagnose ADHD, made up, usually because you're eating unhealthy food, starting at age 4. Yeah, if I give my kids Coca-Cola, they suddenly get ADHD. Or if I feed them, MSG, they suddenly get out of control. It's called, having trouble in their brains, chemistry. Now they want to make your kids in school at age 4 be diagnosed so they can force deadly speed on them.
Diagnoses, these mental diagnoses, do you know how they come up with them? They vote on them. A bunch of psychiatrists get together and determine that they're going to make up these new names for new diagnoses, and they put them together in a book called the DSM. The latest DSM is going to have new diseases like obsessive shopping disorder and excessive internet use disorder, and all of these are going to be medicated. So the mental diagnoses are the most insidious of all the disease states. To me, as a pharmacist, all disease states can be boiled down into either the body building up or breaking down, but chemical imbalances in the brain is some marketing term that a drug company invented. There's no such thing as a chemical imbalance in the brain because the brain's chemistry is always changing. There's no one balance to the brain's chemistry.
Well, that's like the global warming people now teaching school kids that seasons are abnormal and that any weather change is abnormal. I mean, this is ridiculous. We'll be right back with Ben Fuchs. Great point on that. I'm going to go back to that, Ben. Your brain's always changing.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
You can bet your life on eFoods Direct. Alex has told you about the amazing, great-tasting, long-term storable food from eFoods Direct and how a food savings account is your best insurance against natural disasters, job loss, and high food costs. But did you know that this dehydrated food also protects you against foodborne contaminants like E. coli and salmonella? Those poisonous critters can't live in low-moisture food from eFoods Direct. Ask for the Alex Fall Special. The Fall Special is a 24-day supply of food in a convenient portable container. A $259 value for only $199. Save $60 on 160 servings of the best food on the planet. Call 800-409-5633 and ask for the Alex Fall Special and go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 24 hours, 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, that we're pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
You know, more and more the problem I'm having is being able to cover it all. When I first saw Citibank refusing to give a woman her money who was at the bank last week, I thought that, you know, there's no way I just saw that. And now we put an article up this morning from George Washington's blog that's got scores of videos. And then I went and did a search and found a whole bunch more of Occupy Wall Street folks who actually went out and went into Citibank, Goldman Sachs. Well, that's more of a brokerage bank, but they've got bank accounts too. J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and demand their money. And they just say, no, get out of here and call the cops on them. Man, I mean, I don't have that much money, but you know, we've got a sizable sum in bank accounts to run Infowars.com and pay the employees. I guess if they had a gold counting house in town, we could pay them in that or something. But I mean, it's just getting to the point where you can't trust the banks, you can't trust any of it. And these kleptocrats are running the entire society. They're devaluing the currencies. Ben Fuchs is our guest, pharmacist. Ben, you were making a really good point there as we went to break, that they say any change in the brain is an imbalance. When you get depressed or whatever, they've got all these studies where natural foods, vitamins, minerals that you have talked about, in fact, perhaps you should talk about it, in double-blind studies I've seen are many times better than Prozac or those variants of serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And those studies have been out for decades. In fact, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors are linked to increased suicide. Now they have to put it on the insert, whereas what St. John's wort I know actually helps because it's natural. But then they want to restrict that. But I mean, I've always felt if I get a little sun or I'm kind of down in the winter, if I go climb a hill somewhere, or, you know, go clean out the garage, I feel great. Or if I just get out and have some fun, then I'm not depressed anymore. It's the times I hadn't been taking action in my life, probably the 2 years I was in college, and my mind knew this was worthless. I wasn't learning anything from this. I needed to quit doing it. As soon as I just went out and quit college and got a couple more jobs and started my media operation, I felt great. I've never felt bad since then. If I do something wrong occasionally and think about it later, I feel guilty and depressed. As soon as I admit up to what I've done psychologically and spiritually, I feel great. I mean, but they're telling you should never feel bad. They're saying we want to drug all of our soldiers, well, because they feel bad about what they've done. Well, they should just repent. And then you won't feel bad anymore. I mean, what can you say? I mean, you really hit something key here. Just like the global warming people say, they're now teaching school kids, we've shown this on the website in news articles, that seasons aren't real and I mean, aren't normal, and that you shouldn't have changes in weather. That any weather change, any climate change is different. The only thing that doesn't change is change, Ben.
We're treating normal conditions like sadness and depression as if they're medical conditions. Nobody gets a serotonin test when they go into the psychiatrist's office and has a blood test done to see how much serotonin is in their brain. They make up this term chemical imbalance to imply that something is wrong with your brain. The brain is always changing, so there's no chemical balance to be imbalanced in the first place. And then to take a poison, and make no mistake about it, Alex, these things are poisons, whether you call them pharmaceuticals or whether you call them medicines or whether you call them drugs. I call them poisons. When you knock out a system as fundamental as the serotonin system, this is one of the most fundamental systems in the body, and when you block reuptake of serotonin, you're playing with fire. And as a pharmacist, I can tell you, I'm not surprised when people on SSRIs go out and shoot up the school or shoot up the military base or commit suicide. You are playing with fire when you start to tweak your neurochemistry. In addition,
well, aren't serotonin